Welcome in, beautiful souls. If you're new here, my name is Jane. If you're returning, I'm glad you're back to receive more messages. Um, I was wondering what was going on into the ether, and I was getting a lot of these intrusive thoughts, so I brought out my big deck, and sure enough, what came out was intrusive thoughts. So I just want to let you know that these messages come from a place of love and light, and only take what resonates. Now, this might not be for everyone. However, if you're on your journey of healing, this could be for you. Um, so we got intrusive thoughts here, and someone is playing head games. And I was just like, well, who's playing head games? And this card popped out. Demons may be feeding off echoes of emotional imprints. And I will explain what that means in a moment. So I put the evil eye on this to I've blessed anyone that does come across this reading, and for you to only take what resonates for you. Now, I did throw the astrological dice here so we could just get an idea of the energy that's going on. And the first thing that popped out is Venus, which is all about your values, your desires, love, relationships. And it popped out with Scorpio here. Doesn't mean that you are a Scorpio. It's just I'm reading the energy that's going on in the ether today. Now, whenever you find this reading, it's meant for you at the time that you find it. Now, the Virgo, that's weird. Intrusive thoughts, here we go. So Virgo, Virgo, why do I keep saying Virgo? Sorry, I've been saying Virgo a lot. I don't know if there's a Virgo going on here for this reading, because this is like third time I've used the word Virgo. The Scorpio symbol here that showed up. This talks about like Scorpio. I almost said Virgo again. So something is definitely interfering with your thought process and is bringing in thoughts that to mess with you. Now, I think it's because you're either highly empathic, you could be a healer, a psychic, a medium of some sort. You could also I'm using a spray to clear the space here because there's so much interference going on. You could be somebody that resonates as like a star seed or an earth angel, and even if you don't resonate as that, I'm going to tell you that you're one of these important beings, because Scorpio, they are like highly spiritual, psychics even. So these Scorpio also is the type of energy that doesn't shy away from looking at the dark corners of the world, and they're not easily intimidated. So and you would have to have, if you have any of these kind of traits, then you would have to be you would have to have these kind of traits to be a light worker of some sort, because light workers are not the type that easily back down from yucky energy, let's put it that way. Okay, so I'm going to throw this dice here to see what house that we are dealing with, like the energy of the house. So we're going to take a look at that and just, see what happens here. The 11th house, I'm not surprised it's the 11th house, because the 11th house is about your higher self, about dreams. It's about community, like the collective, and yeah, the collective goals, basically hopes, long-term ambitions. It's ruled by Aquarians, and Aquarians are that type of energy that they're little they can easily detach from things. Also, they are the type that they're a little eccentric and could be a little bit more like hermit type, homebody kind of introverted type individuals, like hermit, you know. So this card here, the demons may be feeding off echoes of your emotional imprints. Emotional imprints are basically from like not just childhood, just from everything in general, because we all are basically mirrored, who we, think people okay, let's put it this way. People view us in a way that is not the true version of who we are, and then it makes us believe that in the eyes of others that's who we are, but that's not true. So it creates emotional traumas. So when you have these traumas, it tells you what you think about yourself. It tells you what how you feel about yourself. Um, so, you could be somebody that is thinking things like, um, I'm not creative, or I'm not as smart as so and so. I don't learn things as well as so and so, or, I'm not as pretty, or, whatever it is that you're thinking, you know. So those are all coming from the eyes of somebody else. And that does is it leaves these emotional imprints on us. And then those are just negative thoughts, right? So demons, negative energies, let's put it that way, negative energies, these are like just the echoes that are out in, that you've told yourself, and they feed off of that. So they need to have you repeat those things to yourself, so then they have energy and food, basically, right? So we're going to find out here what is we're going to pull out some cards here and find out what's going on. So I just split the deck here. It says ride the waves. Yeah, with these intrusive thoughts. The best way to handle these intrusive thoughts is to try to catch yourself, like catch yourself in the wave, funny spirit. More so like let yourself have that thought and then question that thought. Um, don't allow the thought to linger. Like, you can't stop the thoughts. You know what I mean? Well, I guess you can eventually. Once you've healed enough, you'll be able to stop the thoughts. But in the meantime, like, this is the life lessons and growth you will need to get through this. So basically, like, think those thoughts and then challenge the thoughts is basically, I guess, is what. Okay, what's this? Water oracle. Psychic abilities, acting on visions. It's destined. Yeah, and that's what I was just talking about. How, like, you could be like a psychic or anything like that. Little healer, seer, priestess, priestess X. Yeah, soul purpose. Yeah, just what I was just talking about. And that is why they're doing this, because you're powerful, so your energy would be stronger. Generously given, relationships coming together. Yeah, that's that community. That's the 11th house. Yeah, see, you probably could change your community. You could probably have a big impact on community. And that's why they're doing that. Yeah, look at this. Because people will thank you, and that will boost your internal process and um thought process. Gratitude, appreciating what's sustaining you. Yeah, they don't want you to know any of this. They want you to continue with intrusive thoughts. They don't want people to be thanking you. Because I do believe that you could be somebody that is serving your community in some way. People don't realize that they serve their community, but you can serve your community in just like the smallest of ways. Like, you could just be somebody that makes hand cream or body soap, or sells eggs or vegetables on the side of the road, and you're selling what's organic because you didn't use pesticides. And you could just be doing like the smallest of things, but it can make a really big impact for others. And then people are just, they're grateful for that. They're like, oh, thank you. You know what I mean? Yeah. What really matters, reflect, reprioritize. This is generously given, relationships coming together. Yeah, like I was just talking about. Because I think you're gonna bring people together, even though you're an introvert. Okay, let's see what else is here. Whoa, okay. What really matters, reflect and reprioritize. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about, how you know, rethink about what's going on, like challenge these intrusive thoughts. You're somebody that matters a lot in the universe at this time, because that's why they are trying to, that's why these intrusive thoughts keep rumbling around in your mind. But when you challenge them, it helps you rewire the brain. It helps you rewire those thoughts, because you have to be, truly honest with yourself too. It doesn't mean that you can't have thoughts of, like when you're angry, to feel that anger and all that. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like those, it's the negative thought patterns that rumble around in your head on a non-stop loop. Because when that's happening, when you're getting down on yourself and you're calling yourself down, and you're like being negative about yourself, that's when these demons they enjoy that. They're feeding off of that. Yeah, look, the healing lagoon. And once you start healing, they can't feed anymore. Rejuvenate, recovery, time to heal. It's safe to stop. Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, you're not afraid to with that Scorpio energy, you're not afraid to face the darkness. Look, that dark hole into the unknown, underworld, depth, courage, facing your fears. Yeah, exactly, Spirit. Okay. Facing your fears. That's exactly what's going on here. I'm going to move this big giant deck because it's taking up way too much room. I was just purifying the deck. I didn't realize that they were going to have me do a reading here, but then here we are. Okay. So, right now, stay in the present and don't get too far ahead of the flow. You'll soon trust that nothing more will come. What? You'll soon trust that nothing more will come than can be handled each moment. Okay, Spirit, what do you want here? Divine love. When you offer everything to the divine with detachment, you begin a love affair with spirit. And then I was just talking about like that Aquarian energy being in the ruler of the 11th house, how you have like that detachment. That's so funny. Yeah, if you detach from these intrusive thoughts, you need to challenge these thoughts. Whatever's going on here, you need to challenge them. Yeah, and then detach from it. Okay, they're asking me to bring out another deck. Hold on, I didn't get that one. There's something in one of these cards they want me to read to you here, so let's just take it all out. Let's see here. Okay, Spirit. Discrimination and inner beauty. Oops. Humility. Allow me, divine, to always accept the right assistance. I welcome your help in every way and delight in receiving it. Yeah, they're bringing this message here. They want you to accept this message. Okay, so they chose 2 cards here. Discrimination and inner beauty. I see this owl here, which is a lot about intuition. Yeah, they really want you to see, you know, I see this big community going on here. I don't know if you can see that on her head there. There's a big community that she's thinking about serving. They're serving? Yeah, they are. They're serving. They have wheelbarrows full of stuff here, flowers and different things. Here they have them together. Yeah, there's children playing, and yeah, there's like a community going on here. Just like I was talking about earlier. You know, this, you see how she's facing this darkness too, right? Yeah, I think you're discriminating against yourself. You gotta watch these demons, boy. They're always around. They're always waiting. They're waiting for you to have a bad day, or they're waiting for you to somebody to like tick you off, or do you know what I mean? And get you back into that negative mind. And they can even manipulate the energy around you to trigger you. So you need to really always be wary when those intrusive thoughts start coming in, and you have to catch yourself, right? You need to cleanse that. You need to be like, okay, why am I thinking about that? I'm not that. Uh, you know, yeah, maybe my grade 4th teacher told me that, but that's not true. That's not who I am. That's not what I am. Maybe my mother said this, or maybe my brother said that, or do you know what I mean? But you gotta challenge these, because you're only going to be given feedback from people that don't really see your true value like spirit does. Do you know what I mean? That the universe sees you in a different way. Yeah, surrender. Ooh. Sometimes learning to surrender can feel as if you're dying. The ego learns what's hard is to stop trying to control the whole universe. Yeah. Yeah, the delusions. Yeah. These thoughts are a delusion. They're trying to manipulate your how you perceive yourself. Yes, exactly, spirit. Okay, I just want to keep reading that, but I want to pull out more cards. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, death card on the bottom. Okay, we're gonna wait for a moment to do these ones. Yeah, I gotta reground here. There's some interference going on. Okay. I'm going to read these because they're not going to let me move on until I do. Okay, so let's do number 24. Oop, past it. What am I doing here? 24. The message is highlighting distinctions has nothing to do with comparing. True discrimination is quite different to mere comparison. To discriminate means to prefer good to evil, right to wrong, and the spiritual path to a meandering one leading astray. This requires quiet deliberation, kindness of heart, and yet also mental effort. To compare means labeling one thing as better than the other, evaluating and separating. The The infinitely loving nature of the angels does not judge. Yet, there might be one wish or another not being fulfilled because there is a more selfish than selfless thought behind it. You might like to ponder what constitutes evaluation and what constitutes true discrimination. Okay, well, they're going to have to elaborate on that because I'm not really sure what they're referring to in this reading. So the inner beauty, the message here is you are beautiful and graceful. Turn your gaze away from the external appearances and toward your true inner beauty. External appearances is given great importance in today's world. Instead of developing our inner grace and achieving more perfection, the focus is on the outside, on clothing, hairstyle, and embellishments of all kinds. For the angels, there is no external beauty. They look directly into your heart and discover your true beauty. Wouldn't it be liberating to not think about how you look today or what you should wear? Find your natural character again, and you will shine from the inside out. And that's exactly what I've been talking about. Okay. Well, that just, confirmed, like reaffirmed, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to pull out a few of these cards here. And also I wanted to find out who's been, who's guiding you. This is the Angels and Ancestor deck here. Oh, this card doesn't want to come out. Good grief. Exchange a trader, exchange energy to create abundance. This is what I was talking like you're about serving your community. Because there's a lot here about this community here with the discrimination. You could be dealing with some kind of discrimination too. Like people just see you and they're just like, oh, well, she doesn't do her hair and she doesn't wear makeup and she just wears jogging pants every day. But that's just the external world. You know what I mean? It's the exchange of energy is what counts in the universe. Oh, my deck upside down. Okay. Is there another card here? I just feel like there's another card that wants to come out. Stag, trust, and thrive. That's funny because I just did a reading and Stag came out in two different other decks. Stag is like leadership, strong leadership qualities. They're very spiritual too. They're spiritual leaders. Summer, bask in joy and light. A shield maiden, make plans and focus. Bees are a lot about healing and the vibration. Raise your vibration, maybe. You're definitely a spiritual warrior, though. Because I noticed that they have a healer, a seer. They have psychic abilities, vision, acting on visions, soul purpose, exchanging your energy. So something about making plans here. Okay, let's see. Well, Scorpio. We already have the Scorpio out too. The Scorpio is like the death and rebirth card. Fiercely devoted, passionate, intense, powerful, loyal, mysterious, deep, ambitious, magnetic, secretive, obsessive, jealous, and competitive. gosh, Spirit, what's going on here? 10th house, career, the devil and the world card. Yeah, and I'm not surprised that it has under here because I'm telling you this, whatever this negative energy that's going on, it is trying to, oh look, and that is that Capricorn or is that Virgo? I can never remember those two. I just split it on the 3rd house, communication, the Lovers and the Magician. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, that's Capricorn. Working your way to the top. Success, recognition, status, authority, reputation, father, dominant parent. Yeah. Exposure. Yeah, see with the Scorpio too, this is about some kind of desire, some kind of like, I think you want to bring some kind of like healing or whatever it is that you're doing. It's going to create something really good for the community that you're in. I keep going back to, and I keep seeing like this community of people, these families and couples and elderly and children and yeah. And this cart here that he has, it's just filled with flowers, and then where they come out with the bee, right? And the bee is all about the healing and the residence, yeah. Okay, so let's pull out a few tarot cards here. All right, so what do you want this group to know, Spirit? Look at that, the lovers. I think I saw something else that showed lovers too, and I don't remember which card that was now. Lovers on the bottom. Yeah, stand your ground. Well, right underneath it's the sun. Bask in the joy and light. There must be something that you do in the summer, in the sun. Maybe you grow herbs or flowers or... Okay. All right, Spirit. What do you want here? Queen of Wands. Okay. The star, there's Aquarian again. It's like Aquarian energy. Okay, I'm just going to do it like this here. So we're going to do it like this. Yeah, something you're working on for sure. Yeah. The Queen of Wands too is about confidence and being magnetic, attracting. And I see that there's sunflowers here too. The Chariot, yeah, something's coming in. Gone through a lot. Well, this creativity too. You might even be thinking about, you might do some traveling. Two of Wands. These are like choices, planning. Something that you've been working on. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Oh, the World card again. Which one? The 10th house is the world too. You know, you're going to, like, I think that you're changing the world somehow because um you have the world and the devil, so you have like the demons here, and then you have the 10th house, which is the devil and the world and like the tarot cards. So, and this has to do with your career. So whatever your career is, you know, I think you're bringing in some kind of healing or exchange of energy. I don't know. But it says make plans and focus. And then this is all about making plans too. And then it's like what really matters, reflect and reprioritize. But you're definitely working on something here. You haven't mastered it, but you're working on it. But you're going in the right direction. And it's something that's coming in quickly too. Psychic abilities, acting on visions. It's destined. The world card's something that's coming to a completion too, so you're almost there. Yeah, the Page of Pentacles is something that you've been planting these seeds. I think it's something that you might do in the summer. You could grow things, or you're going to be providing some kind of service to your community. You're going to serve your community in some way. It's on the bottom, Death card. Yeah, there's going to be some kind of ending here. And oh yeah, look, you got the Death card. The Scorpio is the Death card in the tarot, and then you just have that again. Yeah, and the Lovers again. Maybe you're gonna meet somebody, and or maybe your lover's going to help you. You're going to conquer the world or something here. Yeah, that came up twice here. Okay. Yeah, you're definitely bringing something in. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's, there's a couple cards. There's something in here that's calling to me here. Compromise. Okay, what do you want here, Spirit? What do you want under the Queen of Wands? Oh, here we go. Look at that. Someone's trying to curse your journey. Someone's trying to create some kind of misfortune or hate. That's what's causing this intrusive. That's the devil at work here. They're trying to curse whatever it is that you're trying to bring in. But you have perseverance here. Look. You keep working on it. You have self-esteem, self-worth. Yeah. Reservation. Well, it's this planning that you're doing. This desire that you have. Yeah, look, this idea, like I said, this is something that you've planted in the past. It's on the bottom. Oh, let's see that. What's this Page of Pentacles, Spirit? Marionette, dictatorship, domination, reluctance. Yeah, you know, I'm telling you, this devil energy here, this they're trying to manipulate your energy with these intrusive thoughts here. They're trying to pull you off. Yeah, get you to withdrawal, exactly. They want to stop. They want you to withdraw from your and quit. They want you to stop your awakening process. Now notice on the bottom here, don't want to dismiss it, but it's illness. It says disease, weakness, and fragility. Being fragile, I think they're trying to make you think that you're too fragile to do this. So it's creating like a hesitation, right? You got the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. It makes you question yourself, these intrusive thoughts. That's what this energy is trying to do. They're trying to get you to withdraw by giving you all these intrusive thoughts. But you are persevering here. Yeah, you know what? When you get these, they're using your temperament. They're trying to make people, like I said earlier, they're trying, they're using people around you to try to trigger you. They're trying to piss you off. They're trying to, have other people offend you. And that's why they could be using like a discrimination, which is a triggering thing for you. These energies, they do be attacking the light workers. And it's like a daily battle. No joking around with that. Okay. Let's see here. Is there a message in this, Spirit? Capricorn, no joke. And they brought out the Capricorn already. Where was that? The Capricorn. Yeah, the 10th house is Capricorn. There's something in that they want us to read. Okay. But first, I'm going to bring out a couple of these here. Yeah, in the bottom is the law. This is the spiritual law. This is the law of attraction, the law of the laws of the universe. Good Samaritan. Yeah, benefactor, law, and charity. Seeing this, what I'm saying, like right here, this trader exchange of energy and create abundance. Look at that. And then you have here, like somebody is paying you. You're doing you're a good Samaritan. You're doing something that's beneficial to your community, to patrons. So you're doing an exchange of energy. You're providing a service, and it will create whatever abundance it is that you're looking to create here. Okay, so these go together. Don't let these intrusive thoughts to mess with you, because that's all that they're trying to do. Okay, is there another card here, Spirit? Oops. You are providing something here. The fall of civilization. Yeah, because you know what? The greed and the fall of the civilization, whatever it is that you're bringing in, like you could be like a healer, you could be doing some kind of plant medicine, or I mean, for all I know, you could be like a beekeeper. But with this fall of civilization, whatever it is that you're working on, whatever seeds that you're planting here. Yeah, I keep thinking that, you're some kind of gardener of food or plants or something. Yeah, because the fall of civilization, people have been enslaved here. So you're going to be helping your community, whatever it is that you're doing, whatever service you're going to provide, it's going to be an exchange of energy to your community. Yeah, look at this. It's this is a gladiator, and look, what do we have? We have a shield maiden here. Make plans and focus. A shield and a sword. Look. So you're definitely a fighter. And that's why you're a spiritual warrior. They're trying to get you to withdraw and stop doing whatever it is that you're doing. You could be getting like having second thoughts about whatever it is that you want to do. But you're going to provide some sort of service to your community. I mean, for all I know, you could be a dog walker. Yeah, look at this. Group living. Look at this. Your tribe. Yeah. You know, and the bees, too, is all about communities. Look at on the bottom, a local artisan. That's what I'm talking about. Like you're definitely somebody that is going to be providing some, and you know, like you see, he's got rugs here. You could even be somebody that makes rugs or clothing or something. You could be an artist. I mean, you could be anything. I mean, because this is for the because this is look, and then you have like warriors, allied defender on the bottom. You know, because this is for the collective. I mean, you could be really doing anything, but you're going to be serving your community in some way, and that's a really good thing. So don't allow these intrusive thoughts. Keep challenging those thoughts because these negative energies are using these thoughts against you. So you need to protect yourself from that. You need to question it constantly. Challenge it. Yeah, that's it. Exactly, Spirit. Challenge it. When you get one of those thoughts, challenge it. Capricorn. The goat. Oh yeah. Yeah. So you could have been the scapegoat in your family. Excuse me. Black stones and mineral woods and fresh paper. Okay, so in a reading, Capricorn often appears when we are under a lot of pressure to succeed, and this can cast a more serious shadow on our personality. This energy can be effectively channeled into anything we want. So grab a pen and paper and outline the steps. Make a plan. Get an idea. Have an idea. And what was it about planning? It kept talking about planning stuff. Wow. Outline the steps to reaching your goal. Be realistic, but remember that believing in yourself is the most important part of the process. If you have been pushing hard and not seeing progress, it may be time to take a step back and evaluate your process. Maybe you need to change up your routine or assign certain tasks to specific days when you know they will get your undivided attention. Don't worry, you will get to where you want to be. Just like I was saying earlier about how you might not feel like you're reaching or getting anywhere or something to that effect. So the key words is determined, hardworking, logical, focused, respect, callous, and insincere. Well, we're not that. So, well, there we go. That's the energy for today. So there we go. So don't be, because that's what these demons are doing. These negative energies, they're trying to take you off your path because you are really important to the new world, because of the fall of the civilization that's coming in. You probably can see it all around you. You can see like all the things that are coming into the light now that are being illuminated, like all those like files that are coming out, and all the yucky stuff that's happening. They've been, we've been like they've been marionettes for a really long time over us, but now that's coming to an end. And people like you are going to be needed, when the fall of civilization comes, because it is going to fall. It's just a matter of time. It's going to happen. And we're going to be living in smaller groups, And, in each group, we need to have a healer. In each group, we need to have a spiritualist. Each group needs to be somebody that can make clothes, and somebody can grow food, and someone that knows about medicine and things like that. So we all will need to contribute to thrive. So you're part of that. So I hope this video finds you well. I'm going to send you all my love and light, and I hope this has given you some encouragement, and know that this all comes from a place of love. Bye, everyone.